Hello and welcome to the Free Cheese episode 650. I'm your Joe Dix, joined by Matt Sellner.
Hello.
The Free Cheese is a weekly video game podcast about video games brought to you once a week by thefreecheese.com. This week on our 650th episode, we're discussing, reviewing, and ranking Jumping Flash. That's right, ranking if this is your first episode of the Free Cheese Podcast, or you haven't been here in a while. We rank video games on a list we call, Matt,
The list, which is
the
up on the
list.
screen.
Thefreecheese.com/the list is where you can go and see it. You can look at it if you're watching the video version of that. Uh, it's where all of the 172-ish games are ranked from every one that we've added to the list over the last few years. Today, Jumping Flash will join the list. But first, Matt, what is the highest you've jumped off of something?
Probably being one of those cool kids that jumped off the back of those makeshift bleachers next to like public soccer fields.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Very nice. Was that hit the ground, roll, you're good?
Kinda, yeah, pretty much. I don't think I ever hurt myself doing that.
Um, I did. There's a spot that you're not supposed to swim at that when we were in high school we swam
Oh,
at.
one of those.
Uh huh. Uh huh. And it was one where there's like a couple of tiers where people would jump off, and the middle tier of that was the one where you needed to wear shoes if you're going to jump off from that one because it'll hurt your feet too much to jump off without. So I did that one. I remember doing that one, and it's definitely the like sensation of like I should be in the water by now. Why am I not in the oak? You know, then you're in. But I did that. I jumped out of my bedroom window from the second story when I was like 14 just to see if I could. I could. Uh I don't know. There's probably some other stuff. The high school days. I'm not jumping off stuff now. I don't have I don't have time for that. I do still every now and then. I don't know if you still get this itch as an adult. If I'm like running down the stairs, which is infrequent, but if I'm just like moving quickly, I'll get the like impulse to just leap from like two stairs down and just take the whole flight. Do
I
you
do
get
that.
that ever?
I do
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Um, doesn't hit the same, but why are we talking about jumping? Because we commandeered Robert, the jumping, shooting robotic rabbit, on the PlayStation. Jumping Flash, developed by Exact and Ultra, which I believe are two separate entities. Published by Sony Computer Entertainment for the PlayStation, November 2nd, 1995 was its North American release date. The back of the box reads Vertigo, go, go, go. The evil Baron Aloha has seized the planet's six worlds as his own private retreat. Commandeer Robert, the jumping, shooting robotic rabbit, on a mission to stomp out the royal menace and his gang of pests. Save the planet if you can keep from losing your lunch. Our screenshots dictate a very original concept. This adventure takes a giant leap forward as state of the art technology meets action strategy. The first person perspective immerses you into a 3D fantasy hop and soar with realistic views and rapid perspective changes guaranteed to look and feel like the real thing. There's 18 levels of incredible bonus. I'm sorry, 18 levels and incredible bonus stages will overwhelm you with vivid graphics, finally, rapid fire shots, special weapons, and plenty of power ups. Next Generation calls it simply superb for one player. Um, Rated K to A. I should add. We don't usually call it the ratings, but I've been noticing them over the last few weeks. So there they are. There it is again. Um, This is another one of my picks for the list, Jumping Flash, as we continue our exploration of the PlayStation. Um, I don't remember now. All the I gotta look back at the games I elected for this. I'm pretty sure, yeah, every single one of the PS1 games that I added to the list this year is a game I've never played before. There's two that I've definitely played a little bit of, but not enough to have, you know, called it any sense of completion. But otherwise, these are all brand new to me. And Jumping Flash was one where I've heard of it, I'm aware of it. Um, I think it was in the PlayStation Classic that Sony put out. It's available on PS4 and PS5 as they've sort of started to add PS1 games to those platforms, and it's also it's been available on as a PS1 classic on PS3 and PSP and Vita for years. But it also there's a little small cameo appearance in Astrobot, which was another like reminder of this game's existence. I think when I was starting to look at some stuff, um, but I'd never played it, and I was always curious, like, what is it? Why did people look back on this one fondly? And I wanted to kind of explore it and see just what it had to offer. When did you first hear of Jumping Flash? Do you remember it from back then? Is it more recent? Somewhere
More
in
recent,
between?
more recent. Um, I want to say I was aware of this game in some regard before you put it on the list or nominated it or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
But might not known the name of it or something like that. But I feel like I remember I've seen that gameplay somewhere where you double jump and you look down.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't remember when I first heard of it either. Like I don't know if I knew of it way back when, if I'd seen it in magazines. It definitely looks familiar as you play it. Maybe I played a demo, but I don't remember. It's out in 95. So looking at that, I mean, its contemporaries are going to be a little. Yeah, I like this is a year before Miyamoto would stick the world with Super Mario 64. Um, there's on the PlayStation you had Twisted Metal, so and obviously like PlayStation was bringing a lot of 3D to the space, but I can't think of. I tried really hard to find like any other what do you call it? Like platform 3D platformers from that year. And I couldn't think of any. And I'm looking back at a list now to see if I like forgot something, but there's not a lot like similar to Jumping Flash. Um, even platformers back then were more of the like uh uh Rystar came out that year. I think Donkey Kong 2 maybe came out that year. Um, you still had hangovers like Dracula X, eh, but not, obviously that's not necessarily platformer, but yeah. Is there anything else you can think of or that you're finding that's like, oh yeah, that was a
Back then, no. And I struggle to think of a proper like 3D like first person platformer like this. Besides like Mirror's Edge is the only game I can really think of.
right? Yeah, you don't get to that until yeah, much later. Um, yeah, it's weird and like I don't know when you look at how do they describe Jumping Flash here? They call it a platformer. Okay, that's fair. Um, that was what shocked me, right? Is like obviously we all talk about Mario 64, but no one talks about Jumping Flash like that. And I think it did a lot of things that Mario 64 maybe learned from, but definitely could have learned from. Um, I don't know that they did look at this or not. Obviously, development was happening simultaneously, and and whatever, and the Ultra 64 still had time to go, but it's definitely a game after playing it where I'm surprised that we don't hear people talk about it more. But um in that era, whether it's something that came after this, before this, in platformers, 2D, 3D, do you have a preferred platformer or style or
I mean, Crash Bandicoot obviously comes to
yeah.
mind. Um,
Crash probably would have been the one I was playing at this point too. And
don't know.
Crash was 96, right?
I don't know.
Or Crash 2 might have been. Um, yeah, sorry as we
Yeah, I that
scramble
that's
to Bing.
probably that's probably what I'm first game in '94
I think it's when they started
developed.
working
Okay, yeah,
on it.
'96 is
Yeah,
the developer.
96. So that turns 30 this year as well. Um, yeah, I'm with you. Crash 2 was really my favorite out of those, but um I probably would have been that. I didn't play much of Super Mario 64. I didn't own the cartridge back then, so my exposure to it would be at friends' houses or Burger King in the little treehouse thing. Um, I've played it, since through like Virtual Console, but it I missed it completely in terms of like sit and play that game and collect all the stars the way that people would. I played plenty of other platformers on N64, like the um, Donkey Kong, and played Banjo Tooie, Rocket Robot on Wheels. But
Oh man, you had that expansion pack.
oh yeah, I had we had a weird situation. I think we ended up with multiple expansion packs because we had multiple N64s. At some point, my brother got the was it like the ice blue or I forget what it was. It was the one that was more teal colored N64 when they did that whole color
Mm-hmm.
line. Um, and yeah, at some point we got the expansion pack with Perfect Dark, and we had it with Donkey Kong 64. So we had it with both. And also today, I still have the N64. No idea where the expansion pack is. We lost both of them somehow, so
Not playing
can't be
Donkey
helped.
Kong anytime soon on that.
No, no, I won't be. Um, Jumping Flash. The core mechanics of Jumping Flash: you move, you jump, you shoot, you double jump, and you shoot weapons. Um,
Yeah.
Generally, yeah, the game's pretty simple, right? There's 6 worlds. Each world has 3 stages. In each of the first 2 stages, your goal is to move about, find the jet pods. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, carrots essentially, but it might be called
Yeah, they're
jet pods.
carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah. You find the carrots, you pick up the carrots. Once you have all those, you find the exit and you're done. The third stage in each world is a boss fight that's usually thematically tied back into the main theme of that world that you were in. Um, would you describe anything differently, or did I miss something there?
No, that is that is it. That is it.
And it's really straightforward, and like honestly, like we could wrap up the episode here after 15 minutes with just like
That's it.
you you move, you jump, you shoot, you collect things, and it's over. But obviously, there's a lot more to it than that. Um, yeah, in the worlds themselves, I have a list of them here. The Grasslands, Aloha's Egypt, Playland, Winterland on Ice, City Skirmish, and Sky Sports Park. Um, do you feel like there's a good sense of like transition between each space where they feel noticeably different?
I mean, transition, no, but difference, yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, the layout I guess is always the same, like the approach to get into each one, but yeah, there you can feel the like themes change pretty noticeably uh through each one. Did you have a favorite that stood out?
I think I remember liking Playland a
Yeah.
lot. I knew it was. I know it's not ice because I fucking hate ice.
Ooh, interesting, because Ice was my favorite.
I fucking hate ice in video games. The worst.
I do too, but this one I like. I don't know. I liked it. Ice was also the first one I remember where we actually had water as well. That
That's the
whole
only
world.
one with water. To be
Yeah.
fair,
Yeah. Um, but like we hadn't had it up to that point. But it's also the first time in a game. Maybe I'm wrong about that. It's first one, or I'm sorry. It's one I can remember in recent memory where being underwater doesn't have an impact on your movement or anything else. You're just
I
jumping
guess
and
that's
moving
true.
as you would otherwise.
The only other thing too,
Um,
but that water level had the types of stage that I did not like in this game, the corridor
yeah.
ones.
Yes.
So another reason why I didn't like that level. But no, I
Do you
like
want to
the
break that down real quick? So what were the two kind of besides the boss fights? What are the main stage types?
well, all but two of them, right? All but two of them are big, open, vast, like things where it's there. Yeah, there is a level, but a lot of it like it extends out. Like you have to like walk around it. But it also goes very vertically. Yeah, because jumping is such a big part of it. Shocker, jumping
Yeah.
flash in the title. So a lot of it is like platforming up these areas and then trying to find the jet pods, that way. And then it's very much like remind me a lot of your man how things have changed. Reminded me a lot of Sonic Frontiers, where it's a lot of like, how do I get up there? And it's a matter of finding
Yeah.
out the
Yeah.
pattern to get up there. Um, there was a lot
Can
of
I
that in
double
that game.
jump in a dumb enough way that lands me on
Right.
something that I could? Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of that going on in this game with the levels. So that's most of them. Or these wide open levels. There's platforms. The playland has like a roller coaster system, which was pretty cool
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. But then there's two levels. One, the 2-2 and 4-2. I believe 4-2 is the one in the Winterland.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They're in a corridor. So there's a roof on you. You can't
Mm-hmm.
really jump. um,
Mm-mm.
you kind of have to move laterally. And lateral movement, well, we haven't invented the left and right analog stick movement yet in video games. So you kind of can't, you
Yeah.
have to like kind of turn and move at the same time. Um, yeah, it makes enemy encounters a little bit more, um, I guess a little bit more threatening because you can't like escape like you normally can. And then they were
Yeah. You've got
very
to secret shoot or back up
yeah,
or yeah.
and 4-2 more so than 2-2. They're very maze like, so like you're going through these corridors, you have to find your way around, and 4-2 has you going into water and teleporting out of water in these different areas. But yeah, those two level with the very specific hallway type structures weren't my favorite, I would say.
Um, did you find so the game as you kind of like look out over the horizon or wherever you are, you can kind of, if you're nearby enough to a jet pod carrot, you can see that, hey, there's one right up there, and that tells you where it is. You also have a radar in the bottom right corner of the screen that shows you sort of enemies nearby, but also there's little orange dots if there's a jet pod near you. So sometimes there's one like right above you and you don't realize it because you don't see on that same plane, but you might see the orange dot on the radar and oh, I
You
can
also
move
see
around and get up
power
there.
ups too; they're available.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Power ups, there's quite a few. There's
They all kind of do the
uh
same.
th-
They all have like their version of like a shoot thing that goes straight, shoot thing that locks a one, an
a rolling
AOE.
bomb kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like a distance AOE. I think there's also like you're the center AOE kind of thing.
yeah.
That's
And
your
then there's like
standard fare.
hyper mode. Like you get the quad damage pickup
Yeah.
uh for the rabbit. I forget what it's called, but it makes everything kind of look trippy for a minute. There's some like hyper music, and then yeah, you'll notice that like shooting an enemy takes far fewer shots to kill them when you're in that hyper mode. That kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you
Um,
store up to 3 at a time, and I think you can overwrite them as you pick up.
you do, yep, yeah, yeah. It'll kind of like drop off the last or the earliest one you'd picked up.
Yeah, because you bank them. You
Um,
don't use them right away necessarily either.
yeah, you choose when you want to with circle. That said, with like the fact you've got radar, you've got some visibility around the area. Did you find it difficult ever to find your
Yes.
your goal? Or okay,
Yes.
good, me too.
Yes. Um, I don't know. This is just coincidence leading up into this, but I am playing another game. I guess I'll talk about here in a few weeks. That also messes with visibility, but in a way
Hmm.
that the I'll say the original game chose to design it because of the limitations of the PlayStation, and
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
one very much could have maybe did something to disguise the fact that its draw distance could not get to where you needed it to be.
Which one are you talking about? You don't have
The
to say the
horror
name
game
if
I'm
you.
playing.
Oh, not for the podcast.
No, no, not for the podcast. Well, I'm just talking about more so in our quarterly thing. I'll talk.
I got you. Okay,
Sorry,
okay, okay.
I'm sorry. Yes.
No, no, no. I got you.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's yeah. Um.
and that's where.
Well, yeah.
All right, I don't want to get into like complaints too much right away, but like that's where. So the radar you talked about, the radar is within the distance. It's not like scanning the entire level. So what I
No,
would,
yeah. You don't.
so what I would have loved is you could see the the orange dot, even if it's on the
Yes.
boundary, just keep it there,
Just so I knew a direction to go.
or to look. Because
Yeah.
I think what this game is able to do is disguise. This game has the ability to disguise just where to start to get that character. So obviously, like we said, there's a lot of climbing and ascending on these
Yeah.
platforms, so you can be right under it, but you have to actually go to the far end of the map and
Yes.
navigate around back to where you were underneath of it. Um,
Yeah.
so like I don't think it's like cheating to have the jet pods on radar the entire time.
I don't either, and you're also on a time limit. Like these levels are pretty big, but you have like a 10-minute time limit. So sometimes like I did you
I never ran
what?
against it.
I did. I ran out of time one level. I forget
Oh,
which one it was. It's one of the early ones. I like could not figure out for the life of me where one of these things was. It was one of the ones where it was one of the early stages, like the first or second world, where you had to kind of jump on the outskirts somewhere. Like if there was like a main island that was a
okay,
square,
yeah,
off somewhere there's like a couple of things, and like eventually I put it all together like, oh, there's probably another one over there, right, that I need to go get. But yeah, I just didn't didn't
yeah.
have it.
No, I never made a note of it, and I don't remember running out of time.
I only did that one that I remember. But with that, like it's tough to like move around sometimes, find exactly where you're supposed to go. Sometimes too, like depending on the way a stage has played out, you might know where to go. You might try and work your way towards that goal, but then like the wrong jump, a misstep, or an enemy in the wrong spot can like screw up that climb you did. There's one I remember where I had to go. There's like it's like gems with little stairs in between each of the gems that kind of look like a xylophone. I think it was in the playland. Um, I don't know. Eventually, I realized you just run and you can stay on those stairs. But I was trying to jump
Oh,
from each of the gems to each of the. Yeah, it was stupid. So I'm like double jumping. I'm like looking down to try and make sure I'm lining up where I'm landing. And like I did it once, got all the way up. It took forever. And then I went to go try and get over to this one faraway carrot, and I just missed the jump, hit like a chimney or something on a roof, and then nope, got to start all over again.
I I did appreciate that. Like for a game with jumping, you weren't like too floaty where you could autocorrect and get away with a bad jump. It
Yeah, no.
You had to jump with a purpose, and I did like that a lot. And that made the like risk reward interesting in your decision making.
So, what is it that you like about it here that you don't normally like in something like Castlevania?
I think with this is it's like you're not sent back to the beginning of the level. You just kind of have to like hop back over, and
Yeah.
like you're within like 30 seconds. You're probably in the same
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah, it's
Castlevania,
consequence.
it's if I died on the first screen, I had the same exact experience as I just had in Jump and
Sure.
Flash. It's when you
Sure.
die the second to last
The
screen.
screen before a checkpoint. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
get
when
it.
it starts to hurt some.
I
Um,
get it.
no, but I like that. I like really liked how the camera perspective automatically shifted to down on the second jump,
Yes.
just
Yeah.
to like because I hit jump the
It
first
emphasized
time.
the importance of like you need to line up
Yeah,
where you're landing.
and like when I
Landing is important.
discovered that, like I think like the first like I hopped in, I briefly went through an instruction manual, and I was like, all right, well there's not much here. Let me just play and see what happens. And like I jumped like again, and then like a double jumped, and I saw what happened. I was like, oh okay,
Yeah.
all right. I see what's going on here. So no, I liked the jumping in terms of like the risk reward and doing it with a purpose. Now it gets
Yeah.
tougher, and it sucks when like an enemy shoots you midair and it makes you just drop right away. Um,
Mhm.
like that's the part that kind of gets frustrating at times, especially the later levels. There's a lot of like tourists that are just like floating around the city skylines. That are like, where did you come from? Because again, the draw distance does you no favor.
No, yeah.
um, but um, but yeah, no, I did like that aspect of it.
Do you think jumping flash is difficult?
No.
Yeah, no.
Not at all. I mean, if you're trying to find the stuff or like the gem for the bonus level, I forget what you had to collect for that, or you just had to find it, didn't you?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I like trying to find that is difficult. Again, because one, they're pretty well hidden, and two, like we've said already a couple times, like draw distance doesn't help you much in this game. So
Yeah, you kind of have to know where you're going or
you stumble into it
know that you
accidentally,
need to
which
yeah,
I
go
did at
go
least once.
Yeah, I definitely got a couple of bonus stages throughout, but it was never because I was like, "Oh, there it is."
No, like I literally
Um,
jumped into one thinking like the jet pile was
oh,
there,
oh,
and
like
it
that.
was like a bonus stage. You're like, oh, all right, well, I had the right
That's funny.
thinking, just not the thing I was looking for.
The bonus stages are tricky too.
Yeah, they
Like
were fun.
they're fun little like challenges to see like how are your jumping and shooting skills and turning. Like they really help you to like learn the controls a little bit more intimately. Um, Anything else gameplay wise on Jumping Flash that we didn't touch on?
Um, I I don't remember the controls. It's been a couple weeks since I actually last touched it in preparing for this. But I have here interesting controls, so whatever about the mapping of the controls I liked. I don't know if it's something with the
Uh,
shoulder buttons that I appreciated. That's what's coming to mind.
I feel like shoulder buttons let you look up and down, if I remember correctly. Um, I played this on a PSP, so I'm also
See if I can find that
I'm not certain
manual.
that I had the exact thing. But yeah, I mean, it had not tank controls, but like forward, backward, left and right turned you, and then you had to like still hit up to move forward. Um, and then with X was jump and double jump. Square was shoot. Circle was your weapons. I don't think triangle did anything. And then yeah, I've got the manual here. Look up was R1. Um, look down was R2.
Maybe that's what I liked about it was the mapping of that, since there was technically no Again, no
comfortable.
right analog stick invention yet.
Oh, the manual also calls out hang gliding, which we didn't really talk about, and I didn't really like use. You kind of like inherently learn this, but if you press and hold the jump button, you'll kind of like hang for a second before jumping down. So it kind of gets you like, a little bit of a glide or a delay so you can plan where you're going. But honestly, I felt like I didn't need that too much.
Later levels, I was using it a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
There was one jump in particular. I think it was in the last. No, not the last level. It was in one of the in World 5. I just don't remember which one. There was a. You get to one area, then you turn. It's like a 9-degree turn, and then if you go straight, there's like two little mini platforms, and then there's a giant crane that goes up, and I believe a jet pod's at the top of it, or it's being suspended by the crane. And I remember
Yeah,
like
yeah.
gliding carefully and floating onto those
Yeah.
islands to make sure I landed appropriately.
Perfect. One other power up we forgot about was the timeout. It just freezes everybody on screen. You don't get
Oh, right.
not indefinite, but that was pretty cool. Um, oh, you also get time. You can find hourglass that'll give you 30 seconds back on the clock, which is useful for me in some cases. um, what I like about this manual too is like it has a list of all the worlds right in here, which like back then, like some games would like and many more, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. But it was like,
Mm-hmm.
nope. On the back of the box, there's 18 levels. Right in the manual, there's 6 world, like just not giving you any more than that. Plus the bonus stages. Art style, the game's I think it's bright. I think it's colorful. I think it like it's not Mega Man-ish, but in that sense where there's like a little bit of the robot stuff happening and it's kind of like bright and cartoony. Like it definitely has a cartoon vibe to it. Um,
I don't think it. And there's a lot of PlayStation games, especially very early PlayStation games, that are just like very um polygony,
yeah, yeah,
polygonal
yeah, yeah.
looking.
Polygonal. Yeah.
Like it not, like look at its screens now of said game. I don't know if this is the best comparison, but like as I was playing, I was like, oof, this kind of reminds me of Bubsy 3D in a way.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Just like
Just that rough
um,
polygonal look, the lack of draw distance, and then
yeah.
again, this is not like just limited to this game and Bubsy. This is just the
A
limits
lot of
of
those early,
technology.
yeah, yeah, because they're using low polygon counts when they're drawing out the frames of each character model and stuff, and yeah. Um, I there's like I like the look of this. I don't love the look of it. I'm not like upset by it. Like it's not a game where I'm like, ugh. But I do think like I like that it's consistent. I think there's some games in PS1 even after this was released because this was pretty early in the life cycle. There's some games where it that low poly count can look really bad. I don't think it looked bad in here. It just like it is what it is.
No, it kind of, I think to a degree, it kind of fits, and almost like I rather know where I'm landing and the object I land on than some weird
Yeah.
shaped thing where I don't know if I can land
Yeah.
on it or not. So to a degree, I'm kind of happy it's looks the way it does here. Um, but like what you said, I do like the difference in the art style of each of these square platforms. Like I
Mhm.
can, now that I looked through the world, like I remember, yep, I remember that stage. I remember Egypt is Egypt, or whatever they end up calling it. Like
Yeah, they're
the
they're
Winterland
yeah.
level is the Winterland level. The that last stage that's at night. That's like very like not the city. Not it's not like a cityscape, but it's like very like techno and
Yeah, yeah. The one
um
right before the
yes,
boss
yeah,
rush.
6-1.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they all stand out. They're all different from one another, which is nice.
I did really like the city. We didn't talk about that one too much, but I forgot how cool that one was. I forget what it reminded me of, but I wanted more of that. Like there was some
Yeah,
game I played. I'll never remember it. I don't know what it was, but yeah, there was like it's probably something we played for the podcast because it was a random.
you
I
used
don't know.
tower instead of building
Yeah,
the
exactly.
structure. You just jumped on it.
Jump through it. Yeah, I don't know. It reminded me of a couple things, but I like that. I like the layout. I like the design of it. But like again, like low poly design of a city where the city's kind of like floating too in the midst of nothing. But uh, music, anything stand out to you?
I don't remember at this point. I don't have any notes about it, so I'm assuming it was all right.
My only note around music is like I like the song, the stuff like that. Like
Yeah, I usually if I don't make a note, I thought it was fine.
yeah, yeah. Like I think it fit. I think it worked. Nothing I'm like remembering right now that I'm humming still or anything like that. Um, but I think it fit the tone. I like the composition of it all. Um, yeah. Any final thoughts on this before we like move to the last couple questions I have to wrap, not wrap, but prepare for landing?
We talked about the levels, but I think the bosses are a third of this game. Even a touch
Gosh,
more.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
they're all easy except one.
They're all so easy. Which one did you struggle with?
The robot that kept the cube. Sorry, the cube that kept transforming.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
was probably the only boss I died to. I think that was sorry. I think it's the only boss I died to. There was
Yeah.
some kind of giant rocket or the giant rockets I couldn't avoid. I think there was something else in the other form I could, but whenever he transformed into the giant robot, I think there was like rockets coming out of the shoulder or something like that, or out of his back, and they were just
Yeah.
seemed impossible to avoid.
Yeah, he was really tough. I I think the Dark Rabbit was a little overwhelming at times, but it was nowhere near the transforming cube machine. He was definitely the worst.
I like the mirror match.
Um,
I like when
I did.
games do that, give you
Yeah.
the mirror matchup because it you'll see something that they do and it's like, oh wait, I can do that. you kind of
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you kind of start to think about your gameplay a little bit different.
Yeah, we are more alike than we're unalike, my friend. The um that too because like sometimes in a game the mirror match happens and it's like so expected because you've seen but like this was the first we saw of Dark Rabbit um in that sense. Or did he pop up in one of the cutscenes? We also didn't talk about the cutscenes either.
Maybe popped up in a cutscene, but I don't remember the cutscenes to be honest with you.
No, me neither. They were cool. I think
Uh,
they're all full motion video, but they're all like they're not in engine, but they're pre-rendered and they look pretty. I like them, but yeah, they just sort of like they really acted as a way to transition from one world to another.
yeah, but
Um,
no Mortal Kombat mythologies.
no, none of the fun FMV style there. Um, yeah.
Um,
Once you clear stages, you can go back through and do time attack. Once you clear the game, you can kind of replay it with like a remix mode that it shuffles up the objectives. So if you want to just revisit it and have a different challenge, that's cool.
oh guys, did you have a favorite boss? Because I did.
I gotta look back on them again, but did my mouse just die?
Oh,
Oh, I mean, design wise, I think the genie's the coolest.
was the genie the third one? I'm not looking at like the actual
Yeah,
names. Yeah, I
yeah,
like
he was the third one.
like the teacups.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. When I like the way that you had to kind of fight him. That one I think might have been my favorite.
yeah, that was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, yeah, he was good. Um, Did you enjoy Jumping Flash overall?
I did. I did. Um, I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh my god, it's my favorite platform of all time. But no, I did enjoy my time, and it is a relatively quick game to beat
Yeah.
if you're at all interested in playing it.
Yeah, a couple hours, hang out with it. It's
If
easy.
that, yeah,
Yeah. Um, what was it missing?
polish.
Yeah, yeah. I think your point earlier of the radar, like
Yes.
having a little visual indicator of every objective
Like
remaining would
typically,
be
like on a flat game, I understand why you don't want that because
sure.
it gives it away too much. But in a game like this, especially the later levels, just because you're right there doesn't mean you are there. You might
Yeah.
have to kind of trek around the map a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's the levels never get that big. Like the later ones, a little bit big, but nothing terribly overwhelming that you can't get around
Yeah.
in 10 minutes.
Speaking of which, how does this compare to then like Super Mario 64, Crash Bandicoot, something else of the era?
I dare I go out on a limb and say I think this is a different genre
Oh, elaborate, please.
because like that's the third person platformer
Platformer. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like they control different. It's almost like Resident Evil tank controls meets a first person platformer, but it works.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have like full 3D movement in both of the other examples, where this, you are like forward, backward, turn,
And it
forward,
goes back to
backward.
like the intentionality of the jumps. I mean, how many times in Mario do the hip
Oh, yeah.
hip hoo and like skip
Yeah,
a third of the level to or the third of the star path or whatever because you know how to jump with Mario? Like
yeah.
don't you don't get to do that too much in this game. Or at least not
No.
that I
There's,
think. Maybe in
no,
replays
there's
you
very
find
few
some
happy
weird shit, but
accidents.
yeah, kind of once you know how
Yeah.
Mario runs, you can get away with some things. Same thing in Crash. Crash is a very linear. Crash is like a very linear experience. Like each of those stages, there's not
Yeah.
a lot of backtracking. It's like from point A to point B, very much so.
Yeah. Yeah, you know you can finish a level that I think that's a big contrast too. Like you can finish a Crash level just by reaching the end of it. Here you have to complete the objectives. You get 100% in Crash if you complete all the
Yeah,
sub objectives.
yeah.
But
Crash definitely has those levels of beat and then beat and then beat. Uh,
yeah, very much so. What do you think this brings to PlayStation as a platform?
you keep asking me this question all year. I'm kind of
Every
give
PlayStation
and I'm
game.
gonna give you like the very, especially because the one. I mean, newsflash. I know the schedule for the games because since I got to play them,
Yeah.
knowing what's ahead, they all kind of bring creativity and just like a different leg in the diverse catalog of PlayStation.
Yeah.
I kind of said it at the top. I would love a listener or a viewer to write in and give me 30 examples of why I'm wrong, but like I can't think of another third person platformer besides Mirror's Edge.
Yeah. No.
Like there are first person shooters that do platforming, like Doom,
Yeah.
Eternal, and to extent Dark Ages and whatever. But like at the forefront platforming and then, secondary whatever the other mechanic is. I don't know.
The only other one I remember, it's a more recent indie game, and they made a sequel. It's like Ninja something. I don't remember.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
Ghost Runner?
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah. Yeah. But other than that and Mirror's Edge, yeah, I think that's it on first person platformers. Um yeah, I think like again, like most of the games I picked on PlayStation this year, it was a reminder of, oh right, PlayStation used to be home to, and not that, look, like the industry is just so different now. I can't like put all the blame on PlayStation for things being not as cool and creative, but I think you can even look at some stuff that happened on PS2 where like video games became a capital B business, and a lot of the room for exploration of like what can a video game be had to be left behind, because they needed to figure out how to make money on these things and not. And also, like, of course, we know now so much more about the working conditions, and like people were sleeping under their desks, and yeah, just obviously things were different in this era for a number of reasons. But regardless, something like Jumping Flash, it's just a weird thing. It was a team trying to figure out, okay, we can work in 3D. What do we do? And instead of putting the character on the screen, they decided that first person would be the right way to do it. And it's weird. And it makes sense why on the back of the box they're calling out like losing your lunch, because you do get, I could see where people with like, you know, sensitivity to that kind of stuff, like visual sensitivity, like people who don't do well in VR or things like that, like I can see where like the jumping and falling motion would mess with your brain a little bit. Do you think this captures, or what does it capture capability wise on PlayStation? I think we see where like it can pull uh, the 3D graphics in. I think like using polygons effectively, albeit low count. I think that kind of pulls it in. But I think like, yeah, being able to kind of build a world is the thing that stands out to me.
I would say, I mean,
What do you
you
think?
also get Twisted Metal in the 3D space doing this, but like the projectiles
Yeah,
and the different types of projectiles you can use in a 3D space.
that's a good point. Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's a really good point.
yeah, I,
Building that out, figuring that stuff out. Is it time to rank this thing?
yeah, I hit all my main points of
As did
emphasis.
I. I'm gonna let you roll this week.
Yeah, let me bring up the list where every week we rank a video game on the list
Thank you.
at thefreecheese.com/the list. It is
Thank
on your
you.
screen right now where you can click on all the episode numbers and listen to those back. If you want to figure out why Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty started at probably like 12 and is now at 71.
I feel like we did start at, it's at 71. The
Well,
last time I remember
I think,
thinking
yeah,
about it, it was like in the 40s. But yeah, still.
yep. So that's, you can see where it originally
What
started.
have we done?
How the hell, and
Yeah.
listen back all the way to see how the hell it fell to 71 and others
Yeesh.
like what's the other one we always go to? I say it's fell. It's, oh, Snatchers. No one has fallen too low.
Yeah, Snatcher's too low now.
And then we've fallen off of it, but where's Devil's Crush at nowadays?
Devil's
So
Crush.
the old North Star for us for many
It really
years.
was. Is it still sub 100? No, I don't think it is.
Devil's Crush is 128.
Terrible. Terrible placement.
This might, I know I know what's on my screen is not the most accurate. But I believe it's 128. Still,
Yeah,
that would make
128.
sense. Yeah. Anyway, speaking of which, Jumping Flash. Try not to delay anything. Speaking about sub 100, I have this as the new 99
Ooh,
between Incredible Crisis and Cosmology of Kyoto.
interesting. All right, we got a little bit of a variance here.
Okay.
I'm also sub 100. I'm also sub 75. I'm also sub 50,
Oh, you're up.
but not by much. Yeah, I ended up at 48, above Civ 6, below Hypnospace. And I don't know why I kept climbing. I think this is bad. I think I sort of started to see some other PS1 games and like, oh, you know what? I completely missed Dino Crisis. Now that I'm looking at it, I saw Kudelka and I was like, I like this better than Kudelka. And once I climbed that, I kind of could climb a little bit easier. But now that I'm seeing Dino Crisis, I definitely don't like it better than that. So this is below 60 for me. So I've already come down a little bit to meet you.
Okay. Okay. Um. All right. I was 99. What's between? So that would send Metal Gear Solid to 72.
Yeah, we got to push Metal Gear down. That's always the
uh,
goal.
um. Yeah. Why did I not go higher? I'm trying to think like what. Where did I
Hmm.
like stutter and then why did I fall? Because I I like this game. I don't think it's perfect. I think one I like finding stuff when the draw distance. I feel like the game needs to meet me halfway a little bit there if I'm being picky about it. Um,
Yeah.
and then like again, I know it's early PlayStation. It's not my favorite looking PlayStation game.
No, I agree. I agree.
That were like the biggest drawbacks for me. So I think I probably saw Snatcher and was like, I think I like Snatcher better than this, and just kind of like settled right underneath of it. But like going up, I do like this better. I do like this better than a lot of the stuff after Snatcher going up. Like I like this better than
Yeah.
Windjammers, Jet Gry, and Mario Kart on SNES. Maybe not Outrun, but Spinball out stays as welcome. Zombies ate my neighbors. There's an uphill climb, to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I come up, but then I start to struggle. I think again around. I think I start to struggle again around like Musha, Mass Effect, Power Slave.
That's fair. Musha's too good. Do we drop it below Musha?
Settle in between Blood and Musha.
I'm good with that.
What would that be? New 83.
New 83, yeah.
I mean, there's some
Does that
stuff.
fit?
Yeah, I mean, there's some stuff around Mass Effect. Oh, that's another game, by the way, that kind of fell. I originally kind of
Yeah.
put that in this bad spot, but anyway. Um, I mean, like, I think I like this better than Resident Evil 6, but it's just where Resident Evil 6 sits is not
I know.
great for any arguments.
You have to remember we had a good time with RE6 too together. So I
Co-op.
think that impacted. Yes,
Well,
I
you
think
see,
that
that's the
impacted.
thing. I think my problem is I remember my solo adventure with that game from years back.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I think that's where it makes sense for me.
All right. I'll lock it in. In case this is your first time joining us for a ranking, you can see how scientific it is. Um, yeah, it's a process. There you go. Our 173rd game on the list, Jumping Flash. And that'll do it for February. Next week, kind of a
We're
big
taking
week.
well, we're taking the week off. We got to play Resident Evil.
That's true. Yeah.
JK. No,
Um,
we have we have to take off the next week too because of this.
I know. Uh, no, man. Next week it's on the podcast. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. We okay. I guess I'll probably reiterate this again next week when we talk about it, but we're playing Marathon, the 1994 Bungie original, ahead of its release. It's something I pitched on the fly when Matt and I were doing some last minute scheduling stuff last year. We had some holes to fill in the schedule. And Marathon was scheduled to come out in September, and we
Yep.
had a hole, and I was like, we could, and it was just like, nope, 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 nope,
Yeah,
not going to
you
make
guys,
sense. Too
some
much,
news
like,
about the new marathon had come out not too long after that pitch, and
and it all worked, and it was like, all right, yep, okay, this. I'm glad we didn't do this. But now that game's coming out, so we're going back to where it all started and we'll talk about Marathon. That'll be up on Monday, March 2nd for you, just in time to go wander Tal Ceti 4 later that week, later next week on the 5th. So come back and hang out with us for that. Talk Marathon um, before Marathon comes out. Yeah, thanks everybody for 650 episodes, especially you, Jackie Chan. Um, and also Matt. Thank you, Matt. Matt, how many episodes have you been on now? Because you obviously it'll be 10 years on the podcast later this year.
I I don't remember the number I started.
Do you remember the episode name? Wasn't it like
That's
Tomorrow is Today
tomorrow,
or
or
something like
yeah,
that?
that's tomorrow, or that's
Hold on.
today.
That's tomorrow. You got it.
It's like
Dude,
177.
166.
That was close. Okay.
You were. Fittingly, the podcast art for that episode is a screenshot of Simon's Quest. That's pretty good. Oh man. Yeah, that was October 6th, 2016. 166. We're now 650. It's been almost 500 episodes,
Yeah.
which I guess makes sense. It just doesn't seem like. By the time you joined, it felt like I'd already been doing the podcast for way too long. In reality, it had only been 4 years. So now yeah,
Man, time's weird.
time is real weird. Speaking of which, I've had this sickness that has gone on for way too many weeks
Also
because we
means
definitely didn't record 2 episodes in the same night.
no. We just ascended and descended levels of NPR in your voice. It's all fine.
Yeah, that's all. That's it. Jeez. Um. Anyway, thanks everybody for 650. Thank you, Matt, for hanging out all these years, all these almost 500 episodes. We'll be back next week with Marathon and all year long with more video games and where they rank on the list. Until then, thank you. Bye.